Hi guys and girls, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you for joining me for this video. Sorry the lighting's a little bit off today. It's really dark outside and I've got like my lighting is that a bit better? We'll go with that. So welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you for joining me for this video. As you can see from today's title, it's an exciting one. I was like umming whether I should like compare the two products or just do two separate videos, and I asked a close friend of mine, Samina, thank you girl for helping a girl out, and she recommended that I do like a comparison video. I haven't done my full base yet. I've basically done all the steps up until like blush. So as you can see from the title, we're going to be side by siding the new Colourpop Cheek Dew Serum Blush with the Revolution Super Dewy Liquid Blushes. So if you want to see what my thoughts are on both of them, I have already tried the Revolution one. I love it. I just want to like check out the Colourpop one, see which one I'd recommend, because I know they're both drugstore, but obviously Colourpop's a little bit more harder to get hold of rather than Revolution. You can get Revolution in the UK, across the whole world I'm guessing, Ulta, so yeah, and Colourpop for those in the UK is a little bit trickier to get a hold of. So yeah, if you want to see what my thoughts are, do a side by side comparison, then please keep on watching.
So if you want to know about the base, I did also use the Kat Von D, or the I think it's something Kat Von D, the KVD Good Apple Foundation Balm. It's in my previous video, go check that out. Base is like pretty decent today. So we
have 4 shades of the Colourpop Cheek Dew Serum Blushes, and then we have 5 shades of the Revolution Dewy Skin Liquid Blushes. And the 4 shades that I have from the Colourpop ones are Hotline, Tumble For Ya, Pissed, and Hot Fuss. And then from the Revolution ones, we have the shades Fake the Flush, You Got Me Blushing, Blush Me Up, Flushing For You, and You Had Me at First Blush, which I love the names of these. I really do. These were all gifted as PR. This video is not sponsored in any way, shape or form. You're going to do Revolution on this side of my face, and then I'm going to do, because I know how they work, so I can sort of show you on my better side. And then I've not tried the Colourpop one yet, so I'm excited. I'm going to do that on this side. I think the shade that I'm going to go in with, which I've used before, is the shade Flushing For You, which is this little guy right here. It looks quite dark, but it comes out stunningly. I will show you. Love the packaging of this. That's what it just looks like. It's really cute, snazzy. Reminds me of like a P. Louise base kind of vibe. You do get 15 millilitres of product for £5. That is brilliant price. So a hint of tint to your look with the Revolution Super Dewy Liquid Blush range. It's an easy to use ultra pigmented buildable liquid blush. Go for a more natural flush finish or build up for a more pigmented look. And on this side we have the Colourpop Cheek Dew Serum Blushes. Very interesting. So these retail for $7. I'm not too sure what that would be in the UK. So it's an innovative and unique serum blush with a pillowy soft formula that combines the skin loving ingredients with a dewy flush of colour, or dewy rush of colour. 10 shades. I've only got 4 in nudes, peaches and corals, and cool and warm pinks. Interesting. I like that there's more shades there. So if you're looking for a more diverse range, maybe go for Colourpop rather than the Revolution, which only has 5 shades available, I believe. It is lightweight and buildable to leave cheeks looking naturally flushed with a hint of dew. Okay, so we're not looking for anything too pigmented, just a little flush, a pop of colour. I personally like to go a little bit crazy with blush. That's just me. Are you the same? Let me know in the comments. So it's formulated with hyaluronic acid, which is amazing for hydration. Vitamin C is helped to boost radiance and even skin tone, and vitamin E. I don't really understand the idea of adding those type of ingredients into a blush. I'd understand if it was like a foundation, but I don't want one part of my face to be super dewy and hydrated and the rest of it to look pretty dull and matte. It just would separate, wouldn't it, really? I think I'm actually going to go in with the shade Hotline. 13.5 grams of product, so a little bit less than the Revolution one. So much similar in shade. The Colourpop one might be ever so slightly fairer, but I'm trying to match these quite well. I know a lot of people get very intimidated, including myself, with applying blush with my fingers. I see a lot of like celebrity makeup artists do this and I love the look of it, but it just doesn't work for me. I have a way that I like to do, especially with liquid blushes, which is to apply the blush to my hand. Especially if I've never used the product before, I do not know how sheer it is, I do not know how pigmented it is. If I just start blabbing it on with my fingers, it can go messy very quickly. And also the warmth can sometimes with me separate my base underneath, especially if I've got it to how it wants it to be, unless you're just applying like a blush onto like no foundation and it's just your natural skin. I just personally love to use a brush, and the brush I will be using today, which I use with all of my liquid blushes and cream and like powder blushes is the Peaches and Cream PC19 brush. I keep saying brush, blush, tongue twister. They're very similar in shades. Already the texture is very different, I will say. So we have the shade, the Revolution one, which is right here. If I swatch it for you, that is what the Revolution one is looking like. You can see it's quite pigmented. It's not too, it's creamy, but it's not like liquidy. And then we have the Colourpop one, which again is a different formula, but you can see it's ever so slightly sheerer, a little bit more liquidy, not so pigmented compared to this one. In the Revolution one, I'm just going to add a pea-size amount, about that, maybe a little bit more just in case, because I go a little bit ham, but luckily we're only doing one cheek. I just like to take my brush and just start to basically just pat it into the skin, as you can see. So it sort of gives you an idea of what it's going to look like on the skin anyway. And then as you can see, just keep blending for a little while, and then I'm just going to go in now and start to take this on the skin. I know how this works, and this is lovely. It's really, really nice. You can smile and then sort of see the apples of your cheek. Then you can bring it up if you need to. Just basically have a little fun with it, play around with it. If you need to, go back in again. It's warm, it's like warmed up to my skin now, so it should just easily just blend into the skin. But it's so lovely. It's really, really nice, this one. I would definitely recommend this one. I just wanted to do a comparison. And then if need be, of course, then just go in with an added sponge, because sometimes you get that separation, especially if you've set your powder or like your under eyes already. It might not cling too well to the powder, but just warm it up on the skin. It's very subtle, but just adds, you can definitely tell I'm wearing blush. It just adds the right amount, in my opinion. It looks better off of camera than it does on camera because of the lighting, but it's very, very lovely. So that is the Revolution side. It's not crazy pigmented, but it's definitely there. You can see it on the skin. It brings my skin to life compared to this side. So we're now going to go in with the Colourpop one, which I'm going to put on this side of my hand. Decent amount of this one, because I know this is supposed to be like a serum-y, so I'm really worried that it's not going to be too crazy pigmented. Go in and start dabbing this in to see how the consistency works on my hand first. Right, already you can see that that is so sheer compared to this one, and we did the same amount of dabbing, if not. Let's just apply this to the skin. So far, I've got to go in with a bit more. You can ever so slightly see this, but I don't, like there is, I applied one whole blob onto that bit and it's giving me that much pigment. This is like very sheer. Let me see if it's separating anything. It's not separating anything, but I think definitely this would be on like your very natural days, like your very, very natural days. Like if you needed to just basically want to just dab on something that's going to make your skin look glowy, then yeah, but this is no way near as pigmented as that side. Personally, it's nice. I just was a little bit let down personally. It's not sat well with powders. I just ever so slightly powdered my under eye just around here, and it's separated slightly with the powders. This one hasn't. This one is blended in quite effortlessly. Even with the foundation, it's not sitting well. Like, do you see this little patchy vibe around here? It's sort of like created a little bit of a patch. This side hasn't. It's very, very seamless. So what I'm going to do personally, I'm not exactly like too impressed with that one. It just looks a bit pointless on the skin, really. So yeah, honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the Colourpop one. I think you guys can see it's sort of like, it's just not gathering in a nice way. I get I had a load of DMs saying, Han, the Colourpop one isn't that great. I'm going to have to go in with the Revolution one. I'm sorry. It's just not doing it for me. I definitely created this patch here and it's bothering me, so I feel as if I have to take all this. I'm not going to, but it's definitely added a patch which is really annoyed me. So I would just personally say, if you're going to use this and you've got it already, just use it on your normal skin. Don't use it on a foundation base, because you can just clearly see this was an epic fail. Look at that, guys. Look at that. That just looks terrible. So I'm back. I actually had to take off that section of my makeup and then like reapply foundation. I didn't have to do concealer because it was just underneath. And then I'm now going in with bronzer. I love using the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer in the shade 2 medium. It's lovely. It's really, really subtle. But honestly, I am so gutted. I really thought that the Colourpop one was going to work for me, but it didn't. In general, little bit disappointed. Would I say that the Revolution one's a hit? Yes. Would I say the Colourpop one's a miss? Yes. Would I which one evidently would I say to get? The Revolution one, personally. And I think the shade that I used, which I'll link it all anyway, the shade that I used, which was Flushing For You, is gorgeous. Okay, so my face is done. I'm so glad I've redone that cheek. I am really gutted. I'm going to be completely honest. I did generally think that I was going to be getting like a really good comparison, that like I was going to be like, oh, which one would I go for? I knew in hindsight, I knew from the beginning I would more likely say the Revolution one, not because I'd previously used it, just because Makeup Revolution is so much easier to get a hold of. You can get it on Superdry, you can get it on Beauty Bay, you can get it on Revolution Beauty's website, you can get it in America, Ulta, probably loads of places, compared to Colourpop, which you can probably just get in Colourpop website, or maybe they might do it Ulta or somewhere. I don't know, I'm not in America, so I don't know. But I think if you are one of those people that never wears makeup and you just want to add a little pop of something, but you want to be really hydrated and just get maybe a tint, like the tiniest amount of colour, then possibly go for the Colourpop one. But please don't wear it on top of like a heavy foundation or even like a tinted moisturiser. It's just not going to work. I don't know how or who or when this worked for someone. I've had previous friends literally message me just before this video and go, Han, it's not going to work for you. I've tried the darker shades, it's just not showing up on the skin, it's separating. So yeah, that one was a bit of a mess for me. I think if this was a thicker consistency like the Revolution one, this would definitely work. I apologise if you can hear the birds chirping outside, but yeah, the Revolution one's really lovely. It's just giving me that nice little glow. I don't have any highlighter on. Looks really nice on the skin. So yeah, let me know what you think. Did you prefer the Colourpop one? Do you think it looked nicer on me than the Revolution one? I would 100% recommend the Revolution one. If you're into the new blush trends and things like that, of course you can use a lipstick. Of course you can use your usual blush. But if you wanted a little cheeky addition to your makeup line, then maybe possibly get this one. It's lovely, it's really nice. It's £5, great quality. This will last me quite a long time as well, because you literally just need a tiny amount. I would recommend going in with a brush. I don't like the whole finger idea, because it just then it absorbs the product into your fingers, into your hands. It's just a bit of a waste, really. So yeah, if you didn't want to use your palms, because again it might like absorb some of the product, or not all the product will transfer onto the brush, then maybe use one of those metal transfer plates that makeup artists use for their like foundations and things like that. So yeah, out of the two, 100% grab the Revolution one. I'm a little bit gutted because I did have some hopes for this one, thinking that I'd seen it everywhere on like Colourpop's page, and I just thought, oh, this looks lovely, the shade is gorgeous. But no, I personally feel like this comes out like a sheer lip gloss. That is what I feel with this personally, but I just wish it wasn't a serum blush. I really do. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Are you still going to pick the Colourpop one? Which one did you prefer? Did you prefer the Revolution one? Did you prefer the Colourpop one on me? I will leave links to all the products in the description, including the Colourpop one, just in case you did prefer that one. Let me know if there are any other products you'd love me to do comparisons of. Also, let me know if there are any other product reviews you'd like me to do. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you could, I would love if you could give it a like, and like subscribe if you haven't already, and if you already are subscribing, thank you so much for sticking around, and I shall see you in my next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.